We are live.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome back to my greatest body all moments so far, or one of my greatest, probably should have said, because we have a lot of them. And last time we had Simone on, and we dived into a lot about the bodies and awe, and also like how like the natural functions with our bodies are such a miracle and wonder. So this time, let's see where we go. So, Kalpana, let's start with if you would like to tell us about one of your greatest body awe moments.
Yeah, I was like, which one? But as soon as I saw that, what popped is so I dance. I used to dance a lot, and I don't dance so much anymore. And a few years ago, two things popped as soon as I saw this question. One is that I was still performing, and I twisted my ankle really badly. And a few days after that, I had to fly to London. I was like a guest performer, and I had a twisted ankle. And so I was like, okay, I ran all the body processes and didn't tell anybody, so nobody could project on me how terrible it was and tell my body that it will take time. And
Right.
I found my way to London and I performed, and afterwards told the audience about my twisted ankle. So that was like, I was like, wow, our bodies are amazing. Our bodies are amazing. And the second one, which is a similar one, is when one of my dancers suddenly couldn't perform. And in 2 days, I suddenly had to take over her role. And I hadn't danced for a long time. And so creating a performance is different than dancing it yourself. And I was in my living room looking at the video and like remembering and trying to tell my body to listen to the other bodies. And we went and performed, and it was like amazing. And my condition was better than it had been when I was like training. So my body really showed me how smart it was. Yeah.
It is funny that how we like one of the awe things is that you can actually communicate with your body. I
Yeah.
remember it reminds me of I recently did a body class in Mexico, and I was getting the stomach thing you can get in Mexico, and it was day 3, and I woke up and I knew it was there. You feel it during the night, you know. So I had a chat with my body, and I said, "Look, we have 1 day left of this class, so I would really, really appreciate if we could just be well for the day. And then I am so happy if you want to have a stomach thing going starting after class." And my body went, okay. So we went the whole day, went like no problem. And then I came home to my hotel room after the class ended, and it went like it can in Mexico, like
The
boom.
floodgates opened.
And it was so interesting how, and I also trusted that it would listen to. I didn't even bring any like Imodium or anything. I was like, no, we have a deal here. We're good. We're gonna go for this. And that part, like that, how we can continuously have those conversations, that is really an awe. Like in that, like you can actually have conversations with your body where you ask it for something, and while you still like also gifting to it. It is like a relationship. You do have to like have
Yeah, I
the
know. There is a flow. It's not just like
yeah.
asking stuff and taking, right? It's really receiving also. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing also here, right? Like if we would go into the mind, it would be like, oh, Katarina, like obviously you got that now and you got this bug and all this stuff and you didn't buy into it. And then your body doesn't, is like, okay, I can hold on, because you're willing to receive that conversation as well, right?
And it goes with your saying the projections, because if I told somebody,
Yeah.
the projection is you can't stop that, it's there. But I didn't
Exactly.
tell anyone either. I didn't tell the class. I didn't tell anyone. I was just like, this is something, because I didn't want those projections and expectations and all of that. I just, way easier sometimes to do magic if you don't have to tell people about it and actually know that you do magic with your body without having to announce it to the world, you know?
Right. And it was funny because I remember I was running body processes as soon as it occurred. And I was like, and then we were like, do I have to tell the lady? Even the lady that had invited me, I didn't tell her till like just before flying. I was like, oh, by the way, I have this something with my ankle, but I'm fine. And she was like, oh, why? And then when she saw me, she's like, oh, you have a bandage. And I'm like, it's okay. But like actually not having to buy into it yourself, because a lot of times by telling people, it's like we keep telling our body the problem that it has to
Yeah.
recreate. And when we don't go into that, we make it easier on our body to choose something different.
It reminds me of this this kind of revelation. I was filming Dane doing a tour of consciousness, and he was talking about the difference between allowance and acceptance. And he talked about like how we, even with our bodies, so let's use the ankle or the stomach bug, right? So either I can align and agree with that I am now sick, period. Or I can resist and react to it. No, I'm not sick because I have all the body process. I'm in a bit of a body class. This can't be happening. Like that's it. It's another reaction I can have. Or I can go to allowance. Okay, something is going on with my body. Like what else is possible? Like it doesn't say no, it's not there, and it doesn't say yes, it's there. It's allowance is the space where okay, something is going on. Now what else is possible? What can I ask? What can I be? So
I
I
love that.
reminds me so much. It's like the allowance allows the magic and the wonder to occur.
I love that. But it's also the allowance that allows you to even go into that space of, hey, body, can we do this later? I'm not resisting and reacting to the fact that we're having this now, but could we make a deal that, so you have the allowance to even ask? Because if you're like, how often do we go into, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, la, 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 and then there is no space for that conversation because there's no allowance.
And that also reminds me, like, it's the 5 elements of intimacy that we can be with our body, gratitude, vulnerability, allowance, trust, and honor. And another one of those is trust. And in over the past years, probably like since I started Access, and increasingly, I trust my body more and more and more and more. And I trust me with my body more. And a few years ago, I was skiing with my daughter, and we were in the Alps, and she really likes skiing down red hills, which is like harder. Well, I really prefer the blue ones, which are easier, and you could just like go and glide down. And she so wanted to go down this red slope, and I was like, okay. And then she left, and she went down, and I'm standing on top, and I'm like, hmm. And then I went, okay, body, can we go down here? Like, can we go down here and have fun? And my body went, yes, we can. And I'm like, okay, then you go. I will follow. And I allowed my body to take the lead on skiing down that hill. And I had the most fun skiing experience I've ever had because I wasn't trying to control on my body's speed. I was allowing my body to take the lead in skiing, which is really something my body does, not my head.
Yeah.
Such an amazing gift to like go, okay, body, can we do it? And when it goes yes, and then yeah, go then.
Then
I'll go with you.
then you sit back, right? Then you're like, okay, body, show me, because that's also what you can do. Because if you're like going from the head, like I don't really like this, but then you're not allowing the body to show you what it knows and how much easy and how much fun it can be. And I think that's also part of the trusting, is that you trust that you don't require your mind anymore, and you trust that your body has your back.
Yes, that you trust that your body has your back. And I think that a lot of people don't trust that the body has their back. It's more like they're fighting their body. And I still do at times, like definitely. And the more I trust my body to have my back, and the more I have my body's back,
Yeah.
really the greater my life becomes. Like it really goes together in such an amazing way.
Well, also that's really also like beautiful, because that's also where you honor, like talking about the 5 elements of intimacy, your body. When your body goes, hey, I really need, for example, I need a break, or my I don't want to go there, I want to stay here. That you go, okay, we change the plans. Okay, I'm willing to listen to that, and the more we listen, it's like listening is also really a way of honoring, not listening and ignoring, but like
Yeah.
really receiving that information and allowing that to actually add to your life. So then when you are honoring your body, you have, like you said, your body's back. And the more you are willing to like have that trusting, the more your body will show you how much in a way it has your back. Like you were talking with Simone, we're not thinking about all the million things our bodies are doing every second of every single day. We never worry about, like, am I going to be able to poop, or like, is this germ going to be able to do that? We're not even, right? We don't have that worry. And however, we have been so designed to think that this one is stronger, and that's, I get with the trusting that fades away.
But one of the things that I am truly envious about with you and a lot of other people that can dance is the way you be like. I watch a lot of dance videos, for example. I just watch them because I enjoy so much. I go to when we could, I go to dance performances. I thoroughly enjoy watching. I find it wondrous what dancers can do with their body, and like I can't even just like it's such. I must have been a dancer in a previous life because I just so.
It turned on.
Would you talk about like how you started, like how you and your body started to dance, or how that became part of your life in such a big way as it is?
Well, I will not make. I will kind of connect it to this conversation as well. So I actually, my mom was a dancer and dance teacher mostly. So it was a very organic way of being with bodies that move. But every system of education has a lot of rights and wrongs and a lot of rules and a lot of limitations. So we say a lot like dancers are like the most judgy about their body because it should do this, it should do that, it should go that high, it should, there's all this stuff. And I definitely was in that game. And I noticed that when I wasn't, that was when it was ease. And when I wasn't, that's when my body could do stuff that I didn't know it could do. And so it's really been, and since Access, that has, like I said, I did that performance and I hadn't danced forever. And there was no need to train and be in shape. And I could just in 2 days pick it up and do it. And that was part of that letting go of all the judgment part, but allowing that other capacity, like what you're aware of, to speak forth and shine forth through the body where you're not in the way with your mind. And that's a lot how I also work with bodies when we are creating performances. I really ask that dancers and their bodies to show me stuff, and to talk. And the bodies to show each other. Sometimes somebody does something and I'll be like, hey guys, can you see what she's doing? And I don't say that with words, but energetically I'll ask those bodies to get their information, receive the awareness from the other body. So there's a lot of non-verbal energetic interaction and engagement that's going on as well.
But it's beautiful too, because what you're actually, again, is like back to that trusting of the bodies, because the bodies communicate all the time, and we know that also as body class facilitators. Like, I mean, that's one of the most amazing parts of body classes is how much they communicate. So you're using it also in like movements. And recently in a class, Alba, one of our colleagues, talked about how she was learning how to mountain bike a few years ago. And she would, when she had this teacher who was really amazing, when he was around, she would know exactly how to mountain bike. And she would like a total ease and going down the hills. And she would basically pick it up from him being mountain biking. Like he was being mountain biking and she could then be. And then when she tried it with her boyfriend around at the time, I think it was the previous boyfriend, she couldn't do it at all. She had so much judgment. He would fall off. And she was just looking at how she could actually pick that up from his body, what he was willing to be, also because he didn't have a point of view about it. For him, it was easy. Therefore, it should be easy for everyone.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. It reminds me of this moment that, do you know there are these exercise things. It's like a round and then you like roll. It's like a roller thing.
Yeah.
And my husband had it and I was like, oh my God, that looks like fun. So I tried it and I was like, my ass was in the air. I was like, and then he was like, no. And he showed me again. And I was like, and suddenly I was like, hey body, can you just, and I literally asked my body to get it from his body and I just did it. And he's like, oh yeah, there you go. And I remember this because it was so quick because that body knew it and my body had no problem getting that information. But I was trying to figure it out here. And this idea that we need that other body is not the point, right? It's more like how much we are able to receive from other bodies. And this is with the movement stuff really fun because then you see how something else gets created that nobody would have expected because the bodies, it's like an amalgam of awarenesses and capacities. So it's really fun.
It just reminded me of talking about dancing and awe and learning from bodies. So last summer, or I don't know, maybe it's 2 summers ago, I wanted to see if I could learn to dance tango, just a little dance that, in the world. So I started to take tango lessons in a group. And it was interesting because, none in the, we were all beginners. So, and tango isn't like, it does require like, I don't know, steps and stuff. It was very much fun, but it was also, tricky. And then sometimes you would get to dance with the teacher, like the one who really knew how to dance tango.
Yeah.
And he, in this course, a lot of the times they asked us to keep our eyes closed because wanted us to learn to like perceive the energy of the tango and the steps and perceiving each other. Because a lot in tango is that you actually perceive the other person and when they move forward and back. And when I danced with him, it was so easy. And I just realized, and it was such an enjoyment. I had this rush of like vibrational energy in my body where I didn't have to think about anything. I could just like flow with this person. And I now realize when we're talking, because I was thinking that's because he's just such a good teacher, but I also realized I was actually picking it up from him and from his sense of ease and joy and sexualness actually with the dancing, which my body went, oh my God, this is what it could be like. And that was actually an awe experience that I had. I was so high after. I was like, oh my God, if this is what tango is, I just want to dance tango all the
I'll
time.
have it. Well, it's also interesting because with, like, for example, tango, there's this trusting that's required of the other body because you have to let the body lead you. And even the leading body has to know that it can, it can lead the other body. So there's this big element of trust that comes to play. And it's also like, when you allow that relaxation of trust to come in, how much does your body then enjoy even more, right? Because you're like, okay, take me. And then that guy who's really a leader and who knows and who enjoys it, he then shows you. So it's also, the trusting is so connected to relaxation. And the more we relax, the more we can receive and enjoy and have more awe moments. It's also the relaxation that comes with trusting.
I love that because that is such a key, that relaxation of, and it is like you say, it's neither like the simultaneity of trust. Because you have to, in a particular dance situation, I have to trust him to know, which I did, but he also had to trust me to follow. Like he had to trust so that it creates this flow. Otherwise it wouldn't really work. But that's with everything with our bodies. And it reminds me of like body classes. Sometimes when people are like, oh my God, I'm with somebody who, won't receive and I'm like, well, it is actually the simultaneity of gifting and receiving that you're practicing in that very moment of being paired with somebody that you work with, because you are practicing gifting and receiving and having that trust that the universe will pair you with somebody that you require at that moment. It may look completely different than you think it will. And I know you probably have the same experience, but I always find the pairing slightly surprising. In the beginning of my classes, we pair people up to share body processes. And at the end of the class, I always find that they were amazing. They couldn't, like if somebody had thought them up, they couldn't have done it better. It's amazing magic, the pairing of body process swappers.
Totally. And a lot of times you don't know the people. And so you just like that. And then people go, how did you know? And then when you see them ask questions or you see the energy, you're like, oh, wow. And the other day I was in a body class and I was really like, oh my God, these energies, like, wow, this is so magical how this occurs, because there is really no mind there. And that what occurs in that couple is so interesting because it's such a journey that they go through together. And it's just really cool how they can invite each other into more receiving and relaxation and enjoying and whatever stuff comes up as well, right?
And it is interesting because it's a non-verbal journey. Yes, they may talk a little bit, but most of the time they don't really talk. So the journey they go on for 3 days when they get paired is this non-verbal journey into the energetics of their bodies. And nobody really forgets somebody they've been paired with in a body class. It's like a connection that they have. I see people meet up in other classes and they still have that connection, like that energetic connection together. And my mind will sometimes doubt, like I will say, oh, that'll never work. And then I'm like, oh, it worked completely different than I could have ever imagined. It's so much more beautifully than I could ever have thought out or figured out.
Exactly.
So it's also like a lesson to us to trust again, like relax, trust, and allow our bodies to, contribute.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And I also wonder how much your body's aware of what bodies
Yeah.
require and desire, and what will create the most, and how much that pairing is coming from that energy.
I
And
just realized that when I was saying that, I realized I think the body is actually like it really is, the body is like the channel or the guide for who to pair, because the bodies have so much more information about that than we do, like in our mind. So yes, definitely. Wow, this conversation took us like in a completely different direction. Wonderful. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. And
thank you.
I so look forward to seeing you in the ABC, the advanced body class that we have coming up actually in Europe with Grace. It is in the middle of August if you want to check it out. And,
Yes.
ABC has more prereqs, but if you have the prereqs, I would not miss that class. It is
13th
truly
till 15th of August. Yeah.
thank 13th
Yeah.
to 15th of August in
Yeah.
Rome with Grace.
Yeah. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye, guys. Bye.